we need to realize that there's no point in controlling anything that is happening outside of us, right? Because we don't have control over that. The only thing we can control is ourself, our mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings. So for us to see a different outcome on the outside, we need to change what's happening inside. So I truly hope that the message I'm sharing inspires and motivates you to improve your life. Now let's get to the point. Welcome back to another episode of ToDaPoint podcast, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Today's topic is about how to change your circumstances, and you have more power than you think. Sometimes when we keep finding ourselves in shitty situations and keep having setbacks, it feels like we can never catch a break. And we tend to forget the power we have to turn those situations around from negative to positive. Or as they say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Basically, when life gives you a messed up situation, use your power to turn it around. Maybe you've heard of the principles of Kybalion. I hope I pronounced that right. This is a new concept for me, but I find it so fascinating that I thought I have to share this with you. So this video might not be as deep as I wanted because I'm new to this whole idea, but I don't want you to miss out on it. So I'm gonna share it with you, at least what I know so far. So basically, the Kybalion is a Hermetic philosophy, meaning a belief system that is a mixture of religion and philosophy. And it has different principles, but for this specific video, I'm going to use just one principle, or at least I'm going to talk about just one principle, and that is the principle that goes something like this. As above, so below, as below, so above. AKA the law of correspondence. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but that's what it's called. And the principle suggests that there's always a connection between all those principles. So I believe there's about 7 principles. So there's always a connection. Not only between those principles, but also between the different planes of existence. And with planes, they mean like the astral world, spiritual world, and the physical world. So it says that the same principles that are applied in the universe, in those different planes, they are also applied in the individual. Meaning that the universe is a reflection of the individual, but the individual is also a reflection of the universe. And when I read this, it reminded me about something that's always been said. And that is that the outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So basically everything we see around us is a reflection of our beliefs, thoughts, and feelings. So whenever you feel like everything around you is falling apart, that is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And also the other way around. If you're not happy inside, you only have eyes for everything that's going wrong, right? And I can use a personal experience. This happened to me about a year ago. I was in a very dark place. I already spoke about this thing a little bit in other videos, so I'm not going to go too much in detail. I was in a very dark place and I couldn't see anything positive. And this had to do with a lot of things that was going on in my life at the time, right? I was going through a burnout, a breakup. I wasn't feeling at home at my job, you name it. I can keep going, but that's what it is for now. And everything around me was falling apart. At least that was my experience. I wasn't happy inside, so that was reflected to me on the outside. And also, what was going on outside had influence on how I was feeling. Some way or another, when I was sick and tired of my own situation, I decided to ask for help, professional help. I went to a therapist, and I started working on things that were, at least in my opinion, holding me back, right? Things from the past, things that were going on at that current time. And eventually it felt like all the dark clouds disappeared, right? I saw the sunshine again, and I have to say that I feel a lot better than I felt a year ago. Like, I'm sincerely happy with everything around me, and also with myself, which is one of the most important things, right? If you're not happy with yourself, you cannot see happiness outside of yourself. Why do you think like people who have mental issues or are unhappy with themselves or hate themselves, they're not at peace with themselves, they try to spread hate around them, right? Because misery loves company, right? Meaning when people are unhappy, they're kind of at peace with the fact that other people around them are also unhappy. So that's why they try to hurt other people. Anyway, I digress a little bit, I think. So basically, I decided to change my circumstances, right? I could have sat there and say, and for years and say, you know what, this is a shitty situation. I'm never gonna get out of this. The world should feel sorry for me, or I should feel sorry for me, but nothing would have changed, right? I probably wouldn't be sitting here and talking to you. So, but my eyes had opened and I decided, you know what, I'm one decision away from a totally different life. Great title for a video, by the way. Anyway, so I decided to make a change, and I'm happy I did that because I found myself again. And this is cliche, but it is cliche for a reason, right? Sometimes it takes you to lose yourself to find yourself again, right? Or lose a certain person or situation, a lifestyle, to find yourself again. I am so happy. I never thought I would say this, but a year ago, I never thought this would change. But right now, looking back, I am so happy for whatever happened, because one of the reasons is I found myself again. I found out who I am. I found out how strong I am. I also found out some new hobbies that I kind of forgot about. And I started this YouTube channel. At least I decided to commit to this YouTube channel because I started in 2021, right? But I was too afraid, and here I am. And by the way, I want to thank each and every one of you who are subscribed to this channel. I started with 0. Now we're at 39. And my goal is to make this thing keep going, keep growing. So maybe for someone who has 100k subscribers, this is nothing, right? And I understand that. But for me, I was so scared for years to start this thing. And we're already at 39. So I am thankful for each and every one of you. Just know that. Anyway, back to my point. Misery loves company, right? So people who are unhappy want other people to also be unhappy. So if you feel unhappy inside, it will be reflected to you, and other way around. We need to realize that there's no point in controlling anything that is happening outside of us, right? Because we don't have control over that. The only thing we can control is ourself, our mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings. So for us to see a different outcome on the outside, we need to change what's happening inside. Another example is like when you decide to focus on a certain object. For example, let's say you just bought a red car, right? A red Ferrari. I'm just naming something. All of a sudden, everywhere you start seeing the same exact car. The thing is, those cars were there all along. Now that you are focused on your own car, now you start noticing the other cars. That proves the power of your focus. So whatever you focus on, that's what you're going to see. So if you focus on the negative stuff, that is what you're going to see. If you focus on the positive, that's what you're starting to see. By the way, I really do believe that before I started going to therapy and asking for help, I was at a lower vibration because I was dealing with guilt about the way I was feeling, shame that I let myself stay too long in a certain relationship that was not healthy for me, and also anger and betrayal from that person, right? So my vibration was very low. And that also attracts the negative stuff, right? Because your aura is open for all the negative stuff. After therapy, when I started processing everything, I literally felt my vibration rise. And that's what I want you to be aware of. Whenever you feel guilt, shame, anger, resentment, all those things, those are low frequencies, right? But happiness, joy, pride, you name it, those are the positive things, and those vibrate a little bit higher. That's why when things start going right and you're still in that good vibe, you feel like the good things will never end. The tricky part is when something goes wrong, we feel bummed out, right? We feel maybe angry about it or frustrated about it. And that gets us into a vicious circle, meaning that we feel bad, another bad thing happens, and it keeps going and going and going. So at that time, it's important to be aware of what is happening around us and then start changing our thoughts, beliefs, feelings. So we start seeing changes on the outside. And the thing is, it doesn't happen overnight. In some cases it does, but usually it doesn't. And you shouldn't give up at the first attempt. Keep going until everything starts turning around. And maybe this, what I'm saying, sounds like a lot of mambo jumbo for a lot of people, but everything is energy. I think it was Nikola Tesla who said this: if you want to understand the universe and how the world works, you need to start focusing on energy. So if you believe it or not, that's up to you. But I do believe that's how it works, because how else do you explain? Like, for example, I am very sensitive when it comes to entering a room. I can feel like someone just had a fight or something without anyone saying a word. Also, how do you explain the fact that, let's say you do something and it gives you energy, and sometimes you do something and it doesn't give you energy? So this video might resonate with you or it might not, but I wanted to share this with you, the new knowledge I have acquired. It's fascinating. So I'm just gonna keep reading about it. So I hope I can make a part 2, part 3, and just keep telling you about this, because it's very fascinating. Anyway, so how do we change our reality? As I mentioned before, the first thing is becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that are creating unwanted results in our outer world or reality. So you can look at areas such as relationships, your job, maybe some things you're doing in your spare time that are not giving you the results you want. Lately, I've had the realization that a lot of the thoughts that I'm thinking are not even my thoughts. These are things people said to me once and I chose to believe them. So ask yourself the question, are these things my thoughts? Or are these things people told me and I chose to believe them? Maybe your own thoughts are totally different. The difficult thing is that since we're used to taking other people's ideas and thoughts, it's difficult to distinguish our own thoughts from other people's thoughts, right? Maybe someone thinks you're shy and you think, I'm not shy. This is just a label someone put on me. That's a simple example. So observe your thoughts and research them. See what is yours and what is not yours. And those things that are not yours and they don't resonate with you, they don't align with you or who you think you are, get rid of them. And focus on positive thoughts. Because like I said before, if you focus on the negative, you will only see negative. And if you focus on the positive, you will see positive. The second thing you can do is take responsibility for the fact that you are responsible for what's happening. Here's the part where your power comes in. By the way, this is not an excuse for when someone treats you bad, but you can at least take the responsibility that you are allowing this person to do this to you, right? That's an example. Not to blame you, so I hope I don't trigger anyone with this one. But a part of it is you allowing this person to do this to you. And what this does, it makes you aware of your power and make you aware of the fact that you can make a change, right? If that means cutting that person off, you go ahead and do that. If that means putting them in their place, you also do that. And if nothing changes, you can still cut them off, right? So yeah, the third one is focus on what you do want in your reality. Like I said, don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. And this can be a challenge because if you're used to thinking negative stuff, your mind will automatically try to take you back there because it doesn't want you to change, right? Or your ego doesn't want you to change. But it's a matter of repetition. And one way to do this is to visualize what you do want, right? So for example, before I started this channel, I used to visualize how it would be me sitting in front of a camera, a microphone, and talking to you. When I first started working out, I visualized the type of physique I wanted. And all those things became a reality eventually. So visualize them and also use affirmations. Affirmations basically anchor certain positivity into your system, in your subconscious mind, right? The same way you're telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve love, or whatever you're telling yourself, you can turn it around by using affirmations to anchor the positive thing, the thing you want in your brain. Neville Goddard, God rest his soul, was someone who believed in this concept, and it works. Because the same thing you're telling yourself you can do something, it works the other way around also. So basically, for example, I've written down some affirmations. Let me look at it. I think it's on that phone that I'm recording with. Anyway, one of the affirmations is, money flows to me effortlessly. I am always guided and protected by the universe and my higher self. Those are two of my most powerful affirmations. Because whenever I feel anxious, I feel like something is off, I use those affirmations to calm me down. So I'm gonna give you those two. You can, of course, adjust it to whatever works for you. But those are two examples of affirmations. If you do this on a consistent basis, it helps you to make that your reality. So you might want to try it out. I mean, if you're talking negative about yourself, to yourself, you might as well try something different, right? It's not going to cost you anything. It might just add something to your life. I'd like to end this video with a quote that states what I said at the beginning of this video. And it's by Mike Hockney. I never heard of the guy, but it's something that I think is very beautiful. And it says, we are made of stardust and we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. As above, so below. The answers to everything lie within ourselves. Look inwards, not outwards. You are the answer to your questions if you did but know it. Basically, look inwards for what you think you need and or missing, because it always starts with that. So that was a short video about the power we have to change our life. If this video resonated with you, like, subscribe, share, and also leave a comment in the comment section. And you know what? Share with me your experiences when it comes to the law of correspondence, right? Tell me if you've tried this before and how it influenced your life. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.